Good morning. It's Thursday the 16th of April and it's an okay day, quite warm, and I am Nikki Winterton, and my Instagram name is Clara Peggotty, and I also am now on Ravelry as Clara Peggotty, so you can pretty much find me as Clara Peggotty. And if you don't know the story behind that, then we'll get to that later. If you have been following my vlogs, then welcome back. It's really great to see you all again. And thank you for all the lovely messages that have continued to come in since I finished last Thursday, a week ago, isn't it? From my sustainable-ish Lent vlog challenge. We've raised some more money for Bill's school, so we are up to, I think it was about £370, something like that now, which is amazing. I'm going to be closing the money pool tomorrow, Friday, and then sending the money off to Gaynor. So thanks once again to everybody who contributed there, and thank you if you've come across from Gaynor, because I know she gave me a shout out on her vlog and a few people have come across, so welcome to my little corner of the world, which is full of madness, dogs, daughter. I should say my daughter Hannah lives at home with me and my husband Gary, and our son Jonah is down in Portsmouth training to be a paramedic, although obviously that's all bonkers at the moment. He's actually waiting to be kind of drafted in to work as an emergency care assistant on the ambulances, because he was just at the end of his second year of his paramedic training, so they can't go out as paramedics, but they have done enough to qualify as ECAs, and it looks like they're going to fast track them for the rest of the summer to work as ECAs, and then they're going to continue with their paramedic training in September. I think that's the plan anyway. Hannah is studying at Sussex University, so she is living at home. Oh, I didn't say either, did I? We live on the south coast of the United Kingdom. It's really weird because obviously I know most of the people who are going to watch this are probably my friends from the vlog. So going through all this again is a bit weird, but I'm trying to be, trying to be professional. So yes, I am married, been married to Gary for 27 years. Can't believe that. I have been pretty much a stay-at-home mum. I homeschooled the two children until they were ripe and ready to go off into the world. And then I kind of turned my attention to knitting and crafting. So that's me in a nutshell. You're probably bored already, aren't you? Oh, I hope not. I won't be saying that every episode, so don't worry. So I'm going to talk about knitting today. For the most part, this is going to be, the podcast side of things is going to be about my creative endeavours. I knit, I crochet, I spin, I weave, I sew. I do lots of things really. My passion is knitting, and you will see shortly the knitting mojo is strong with me at the moment. I haven't got anything on the loom. I weave a lot. I teach weaving at Tribe Yarns in London under normal circumstances, obviously not at the moment. And I, from time to time, weave for other people. And I'm probably most well known on Instagram for weaving blankets out of Knitters Scrap Yarns. What else do I need to cover? I think that's probably it for now by way of introduction. The dogs, again, from the vlog, you will all know, Henry and Honey, although because this is more of a podcast, less of a vlog, you're unlikely to see them, but I will endeavour to put some clips in, either at the beginning or at the end of each vlog podcast. Get that right. Also, can I just say, I have a notebook for the podcast, and look, how cool is that? My sister got this for me for my birthday. Oh quite a few years ago, and it's a plain notebook, but she had it made, which is really great. So I thought, what better use of it? I mean, there's other stuff in here as well. I've used it from time to time as a knitting notebook, but I'm not very good at keeping knitting notebooks, so I thought I use it as a podcast notebook. Now, also, am I too close to the camera? Is that better? You see my big head. I have today been tidying my yarn stash because I'm going to talk to you about the stash in a moment. So it's 6 minutes and I have waffled. I hope you all had a lovely Easter, despite most of us, I suspect, being on lockdown. I hope you were able to at least spend some time on the telephone or screen time with your loved ones if you weren't able to be with them. So as I said last time, I'm sending hugs out to everybody. It's a kind of, obviously, a new format for me doing a podcast. And I'm going to be fairly traditional in how I divvy it up. I have written in my notes. This is the way I'm going to look at it. Beginning, then we'll have a quick catch up. It will be quicker than 6 minutes. Then I'm going to show you my finished objects. Then I'm going to show you my whips, my works in progress, that is, for those non-knitters. I'm sure there aren't any non-knitters out there. Then we're going to look at acquisitions, if there are any, and also a thing called Stash Exam, where I'm going to share with you some of my stash and what I want to do with it, or what I should do with it. Then we're going to look at possible future knitting projects or crafting projects. I'm going to throw in a book review, not too long, but a book review each time, and then just to catch up on life in general, maybe looking at my efforts of sustainability and all that sort of stuff that I was doing over Easter, over Lent, and how I'm getting on with that. Because even though I finished the vlog challenge with my not buying anything new for 40 days, obviously I learned a lot, and I'm going to be going forwards with that. I have bought some yarn since I came out of the end of Lent, but not too mad, so I'll show you that later. So first of all, oh my goodness, I've just realised, hang on, don't go anywhere. What am I wearing? I hear you ask yourselves. Excuse me. I am wearing my FO that I was working on throughout my vlogs. So I'm going to just stand up to there so you can see it. So look at that. Can you see that? So pretty, that raglan detail there. This is my Rosa cardigan. Just sit down again now because, and now wheel my way back in. Yes, the Rosa cardigan by Anna Deveau. I wrote it down, so I know she is Along Avec Anna on Ravelry and Instagram. I'll put her details across the bottom of the screen because I'm on it like that. Oh, and now my Sainsbury's delivery has arrived. Doing well so far, aren't I, today? Well, I'll carry on just for a moment while they sort themselves out. The yarn is, it's probably not. The yarn is by Kettle Yarn Company, my lovely friend Linda, who also works at the southeast of the UK. And this is her Islington DK base, which is double knitting. And it's a BFL silk blend in her Pirouette colourway, which is so pretty. It's that peachy pink. So Pirouette is the perfect name for it, I think. And yeah, just a very simple, straightforward cardigan with the pretty raglan details there. And I chose to knit sort of half-length sleeves, I suppose. I do like half-length sleeves. I get a bit irritated with full-length sleeves. And I like to wear little cardigans over my dresses, usually in the sort of spring, summer, autumn as opposed to winter, so it's good to have the half-length sleeves. So that is my first finished object. Very, very pleased with that indeed. Okay, sorry, I had to dip away there and unload the shopping. That's all done. Had a bit of lunch and I'm back. So much for doing all this in one hit. Now then, where was I? I had talked about my Rosa cardigan, hadn't I? So moving on to another finished object. Again, those who watch my vlog, please appreciate this. Ta-da! My gingerbread socks. So just to prove that they're both done, you have to bear with me with all this because it's quite new. So there we go. So this is, what is it called? I'm the Gingerbread Man from Mr. B's Yarn. It was their Christmas colourway, or one of their Christmas colourways last year. I did a twisted rib, then I just did a garter stitch insert down both sides just to give it a bit of definition. Added a fish lips kiss heel, but didn't put a contrast heel in, and I quite like that kind of bullseye kind of heel there. And then my new favourite type of toe is the circular toe from the Lara Neal book Sock Architecture. So finished. And I did say when I did a whips review on the vlog, I did say these were something I was going to finish by Easter, and I did. Go me. So that's that. Another finished object. I have 3 this week, so that's quite a good start, isn't it, to all of this malarkey? So again, fairly long-standing whips and my bunnies. Ta-da! So, talking about this one, have a look at that. You can see the stitch pattern. It's kind of a knit purl, broken rib-ish kind of thing going on there. This is the Juniper Socks pattern by Helen Stewart, who is Curious Handmade. I'm sure you all know that. And the yarn is from lovely, lovely Emily, who has the dyeing business Yarn Brairie, the Yarn Brairie. And she dyes the most amazing colourways based on her love of books. And she does sets. She did a little women's set. She's done lots of Jane Austen sets. And she has also done Narnia, from which this colourway is, and it's called Tea with Tumnus. And you can see it's kind of a lovely fawn colour, but with hints of little bits of kind of, they're like lilac-y, it's a really warm colourway. This is DK, I should say. It's the first pair of DK socks I have knit. So, and then the toe is actually, I followed the toe on the pattern, which was just a standard, I think it's called a wedge toe, isn't it? But that yarn is actually from Emily's sister, Deborah, who had Candy Shop Yarns, very, very popular yarn dyeing business, but she has now stopped dyeing, sadly. But I knit my sweater, the Azimuth sweater, in this colourway, Lavender Lemonade. And when I was making these socks, I knit the first one, did it all, but I did knit them longer than the pattern said because I don't like shorter socks. Came to sock number 2 and I ran out of yarn for the toe. So I pulled out the toe of the first one as well and decided to knit them both in the lavender colour, which I think just works brilliantly. So another finished object. Yeah, I'm feeling smirk. How long this lasts is anyone's guess. So that's the finished objects. How are we doing? Do you think we're doing all right so far? Yeah, I'll keep ploughing on anyway. Next thing in my notebook, whips. I just want to knit everything at the moment. So I have a few whips that I'm doing really well on, some of which, again, viewers from the vlogs will recognise, some are new. So we'll start off with a new one, which was, typically, yes, I do have the pattern here. My friend Gemma, who is the little grey girl who makes project bags, decided she's recently discovered her love of colour work. Now again, those who know me know that I absolutely adore colour work. It's my thing, it's my jam. Just looking for a better picture of the, I do have a colour picture actually of this, excuse me, because turns out you can't make colour work from a black and white chart. I tried. So I had to ask Gary to print it off for me at work. So what I'm going to show you is, of course, the Moonwake Cowl, Drea Renee Knits and Andrea Mowry. And then there's a, I'm going to show you that there. So it's a tubular cowl, and it is in the round, and there's a twist in it as well. And Gemma decided she wanted to do a colour work cowl, so she has actually started, or she started the hashtag isolation colour work cowl, and several of us jumped on board because we were all up for it. I was doing my sustainable Lent, so I wasn't able to buy any new yarn, but it so happens that I had in my stash some Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, which is worsted weight yarn, which is what is needed for this cowl. There. And so I picked these colours, and again I showed you on the vlog. They're the colours that I decided to use, and the cowl, which I think is rather splendid. Ta-da! There you go. So you've got a provisional cast on down here, and then you've got a repeating pattern. I think that is crack-a-lacking, as Hannah would say. Really love that. And it's knitting up quickly because A, it's worsted weight yarn, and B, it's colour work, and colour work is just magic. It just knits really quickly. I'm nearly done the first complete chart repeat, so I've got about 5 more rounds, I think, and then there's 2 more chart repeats virtually, give or take. But it's so squish. I love this yarn. Honestly, this Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, it's not superwash, it's just Peruvian, I put my teeth in today, Peruvian Highland wool, but it's absolutely lovely. So there, this is actually going to be, wait for it, a Christmas present. Anyway, I shan't say for whom, but I may well be knitting another one because I'm really, really enjoying that knit. So it's the Moonwake Cowl by Andrea Mowry. If you want to do some colour work and join in the isolation colour work cowl, then just go on Instagram and look for the hashtag, or look for Gemma at Little Grey Girl. I'll show you this bag because that's what other podcasters do. It's llamas. And this was from the lovely Claire, who is, what does it say there? Yeah, Bird Street UK. She is the better half of Mr. B, for those of you who don't know. So Mr. B and Claire both dye yarn, and Claire makes project bags as well. So that's my first whip. My second whip is also a cowl, which I started again on the vlog, and it looked a bit of a mess and a bit of a shambles, and it was that one. So that's the Juco Cowl by Olga Buraya-Kafelian, who I'm pretty sure is Jazzy Olga on Ravelry. And I saw this and fell in love with this at Edinburgh Yarn Festival last year, and it was a kit on the Mayak stand. Actually, I've got, look at this, how efficient am I? So you bought it as a kit, so you've got the yarn and the pattern from Mayak. They had a sample knit up and it was absolutely gorgeous. So I bought those two colours, and this is their Mayak medium, and it's baby yak, and this is ochre excuse me, and this one is petrol. So, and I had that, obviously I've had it a year now, so again, doing the sustainable length is brilliant because it really got me into looking at what I had. Now, are you ready for my progress? So this is Brioche Stitch. It's double brioche. Oh, I'm getting all in a pickle here. And this is how far I've got. Oh, is that a bit of a messy? Show you that. At the very beginning, there were a couple of wrong stitches, but I'm going to fix those at the end. But basically, if I pull that, you can see it's really stretchy. And you can see the inside is green on blue, the outside is blue on green. And it's so, so soft and squishy. But it's not, it's weird, it's not soft merino soft. It's a different feel, it's got a different hand to it, but it really is soft. And again, with brioche, is that better? Anyway, that one now I'm well into, and I can sit and work on that with something not too focused on the television. So we just got an achievement for brioche. So that's that one. What else have we got? I have got socks, and I have got 2 sweaters on the go. Shall I carry on? There's our in for a penny, in for a pound. Right, these socks, this is actually a little grey girl bag with Tula fabric. I love this, absolutely love this. And these are my cocoon socks, which is a pattern by Mina Phillip, who is Knitting Expat on Instagram and Ravelry. And look, that's a foot there. So I'm halfway up the leg. I did these toe up. So you can see it's a really lovely pattern. It's really pretty. I've also started, because I was doing them concurrently, but kind of fell off the wagon with that. So we're not too far off these either. And that's the back, which doesn't have the pattern. Look at that yarn. It's so pretty. Oh, that's better. You can get the daylight on it. The yarn is by Debbie from Down Sheepy Lane, and it was her Christmas colourway from 2 years ago. But I loved it. I think it's called Holiday Cheer, and it's on her merino nylon sock base. Love that. Right, the next 2 exciting things. One, and again, harping on about this again, viewers of the vlog will be familiar with, I cast on the Paloma Sweater by Espace Tricot. And I've got that in my, I can't remember, these bags are, again, I bought this at Edinburgh. And it's got, well, because I bought some Spin Cycle yarn, and it's got a Spin Cycle pin on it. Don't really understand that, but I bought it. Jump on the bandwagon. And yeah, I cast on, I had a sweater's worth of La Bien-Aimée singles, merino singles in the Pêche Mignon colourway, which is actually in the back there. I should have got it out to show you the skein, but never mind. And I decided I would knit the Paloma Sweater, which is one of those where it's a sock weight, fingering weight yarn held double with Suri alpaca silk. It's a very classic, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and again this is in black and white, so you'll have to do this because although it's free, it's got my notes all over it. So it's a kind of what do you call that, turtleneck? Not sure. And then there's a rib design all the way down the sleeve. So really classic. So I cast on, and I am almost ready to split for the sleeves, and I'm on a very short cable, so you won't be able to see it at its best if I do that. Look at that. How glorious is that? I've really been cracking on with this. And then you can see these are the sleeves, and you can see that twisted rib detail that's going all the way down, and then you've got the raglan increases both sides that way. That's it. The window is over there, so if I tilt this that way you get better light, and you can see the soft peach, the greys, the aqua in there, and that's my little rock. Focus. Just tell me that's the front. There's short row shaping in this, and then you've got oh, it's so soft. I'm so loving this. Stitch markers. I'm trying to get into using stitch markers more as well. I'm trying to embrace the whole knitting jewellery thing, which again I don't do very well. But I've got one of my owls, and I've got a hot cross bun on there. Can you see the owl? I've got a few of these. There you go. And then the beginning of round marker is that one, which was from a present from my lovely friend Soraya, who is Malika on Instagram, and she makes the most amazing what do I say, knitted jewellery, knitted and crocheted jewellery, and she uses a lot of these Swarovski crystals, but she also makes some stitch markers, and she gave me a few of those, and I've got those on both my current projects, I think. But anyway, this is a big fave. Really, really happy with this. So let's pop that away because I like to go away. Oh, shall I show you the cakes? So the caked yarn, that's the Pêche Mignon. It's coming out. It's not brilliant colour. It's slightly more peachy than it's coming out. In fact, it's not that dissimilar to my Rosa cardigan. And then, oh, the silk, Suri silk alpaca. I just bought, I couldn't find a colourway that I felt would complement this enough, a peach that I wanted. Plus at the time I couldn't justify dropping another however much by buying indie dyed skeins of this stuff to go over an already very expensive sweater's quantity of yarn. So I bought undyed from the, well, it was from the retail arm of the yarn wholesaler that a lot of the indie dyes yarn. So Chester Wool is one that indie dyes use in the UK, and they have a website for retail to buy undyed yarn, which is called bluefaced.com, I think. I will check. So I went on there and bought 4 skeins of undyed, which brought the price down considerably. And I won't do that a lot, but for that sweater, it was do that or don't knit it, basically. And so I opted to do that. So the Paloma Sweater. Now, I did cast on another sweater. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. Couldn't help myself, but I can look you in the eye because I used yarn from Stash. How cool is that? And let's face it, I blooming should, shouldn't I? I really like Jennifer Steingass Knit Love Wool, and you will know I recently finished my arboreal sweater in the lovely coral colour, coral and cream, from John Arbin, and I finished that and really loved it, and the fit was really good and it worked really well. And so I started following her again on Instagram. I do shake up my Instagram feed a lot. I cull it very regularly, and then I go through and I change things up and see different things. If I know you, if you're a friend, then obviously I keep following you, but if I'm looking at designers or dyers, I do like to mix it up a bit. So anyway, I saw she was launching a new pattern. I mean, let's face it, a lot of her designs, they are very what's the word, samey is the wrong word. Consistent in that the construction is the same. She has a certain way of increasing, which I think is great, across the yoke. She has colour work here, and then a plain fitted sweater. And I was looking at them all and looking at which ones worked with DK weight, sport weight, and so on. And I had a sweater's quantity of sport weight yarn from, oh my goodness, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. It's over here, hang on a sec. There we go. So I had this. So it's blacker yarns, and it's actually spun by, I believe, the Natural Fibre Company, who do a lot in this country. It's a woolen spun yarn, so it's really light and it's sport weight. And I bought this the first time I went to Yarndale. This was one of their birthday editions. I think it might have been their 4th birthday. Can't remember. Anyway, it was a birthday edition, and I bought it with a view to knitting the pattern that they published with it. And when I got home, I struggled with the pattern and I couldn't get to grips with it. This was a little while ago. Oh, so for those of you who don't know, we have wooden floors, and that's the dog walking across the wooden floor. And anyway, as it happens, the new pattern from Jen Steingass calls for sport weight, as do a lot these days actually, don't they? So I decided I would knit Aurealis. Now, obviously it's black and white, so again, apologies. But it's only 2 colours, so I can't justify getting this printed in colour. But what I will say is, on the sample pattern, for those of you who don't know it, this colour work bit here is done using spin cycle yarns, and it's a gradient, and it looks stunning. It really does. However, I didn't want to do that. I was thinking about it. I should put that down. Oh, that's the information for those of you who might want it. I wanted again to see if I could do it with Stash, and I was going through all my bits, and lo and behold, I had 2 skeins. Again, I haven't got them handy because I'm rubbish like that, of Ulisse, here we go, Ulisse De Rerum Natura. Now I bought this again probably a year ago to make a hat for someone. Never quite got around to making it, as you don't. And it's sport weight, and it's perfect, and the colour is perfect. So my plan was that sweater colour work. So night before last, I cast on, because I thought, oh, that would be a really good thing to show my first podcast that I've started. And due to circumstances that weren't quite under my control, which I'll talk about in a bit, this is how far I've got. So it's top down. Oh, look, there's another owl there. and I have just done a whole load of increases, and I'm just introducing the darker purple, the Elise. But look at this, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I've been working a lot on that. I had to go, I had to take Gary to the hospital twice in the last 24 hours, and they don't let anyone in who's not the patient at the moment for obvious reasons. So I was sitting in the car. So I had about 4 hours in the car between the two visits, and I just knit on this. So really excited about this. I think this is going to be really lovely, and I'm so pleased that I'm able to do it from stash. That is really, really good. What is it? It's really, really good. So that's Aurealis, and I think as far as whips go, I'll probably stop there. How are we? We're about, oh yeah, quite a long way in. I hope people like long podcasts. I was thinking maybe an hour would be reasonable. I mean, my vlogs were about half an hour because I can't stop talking. Oh, I need to get out more because I can't get out more. Excuse me a second. Okay, so my hair is getting hot now. So yeah, they're my whips. I think I have got some socks. Well, I have got my pair of Heidi Allender socks that I'm knitting with the Kettle Yarn Co. Sock Cowl, with the patterns from the 52 weeks of socks from Liner magazine. I'll talk about that next time, and I have a pair of mittens as well on the go. Again, I can talk about those next time. I think that's probably quite enough for now, isn't it? I'm not going to talk about my quilting or my sewing endeavours or anything else at the moment. Otherwise, I would really be here all day. And, you know, ain't no one want me all day in their house. Ain't no one. Right, acquisitions. I don't think I've got any acquisitions. No, it's just as well when you see what I'm going to show you in a minute. I have bought though, I have bought some more yarn. My celebratory post-Lent thing. I actually, to be honest, do you remember I said last time that I'm a bit of an emotional buyer? Well, on Tuesday night, I took Gary to the hospital at 8 o'clock. He was referred to urgent care. He's fine, and I'm not going to go into it, but he had to go to urgent care. And I went and sat in the car, and I had grabbed a bag of knitting. I'd grabbed my mittens actually, but it was dark after about 15 minutes. And I did have my phone, and I put the torch on, but I don't know about you, but I don't like sitting in a car with a light on when it's dark outside. I feel really vulnerable like that. And the car park, the hospital car park, was quite empty. I did park under a light right by the A&E unit actually, and there were 1 or 2 other people around, but I just didn't want to sit there with a light on in the car. So instead, I went yarn shopping on my phone. Okay, central face. I have been toying with the idea for ages of making the Stonecrop Sweater. This actually will come under future knitting as well. I'm going to make the Stonecrop Sweater, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and it's really nice. And I've relatively recently discovered that that sort of style works quite well on my figure. So I have the yarn for the main colourway, but I've been trying to work out what other colours to use. And I love spin cycle yarn. I absolutely love it. But obviously it's not inexpensive, and so it's not something I can buy willy-nilly. unless I find myself at 10 o'clock at night stuck in a dark hospital car park with nothing to do but shop. So I went on to various websites actually, and then I went on to Fig Tree Yarns, which is a knitting shop out of Guernsey. Pretty sure it's Guernsey, not Jersey. And they stock a lot of US yarns because they can import it tax-free, I think, to Guernsey. I think that's the big plus there. I have bought from them before anyway, so I went on there and I bought 2 skeins of spin cycle yarn, and then I went even madder and bought it's a skein, but it's a gradient skein of Wonderland yarns in their tea time colourway. So I won't talk about those anymore. I will show you when they arrive, and I'll show you the plan for the sweater when that arrives. Okay, took a little break there. Hair's gone up because I'm getting hot. Henry wanted to go out, so I let him out of the room, and then he wanted to come back in, so I'd let him back in. So hopefully he'll settle down now. Can I also point out that all this, I've been tidying and sorting. I'm so excited about all my yarn at the moment. I've got projects yarn in there and there. You know, I get wobbled up with my finger here. And I've got sock yarn, DK, and then various other things. Anyway, oh, no, that's work, that's weaving. But yeah, I've had a really good clear up. In fact, the other half of my room is a bomb site. But this is good. This is good. Right, what's my next segment? Aha! Book review. I don't know what that was all about. I want to talk to you briefly about a really fab book. I've talked to you a lot about books in the past, and people seem to enjoy my reviews, so I thought I would throw one in each time. Ones that I've read probably most recently, but not necessarily so. This is a book I read last year, and it's amazing. I love it. It's the most bizarre book. It's called On Sheep, The Diary of a Swedish Shepherd. And it's by Axel Linden. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right. It's just, and you see, look, it's thin, which is a winner. It's written in the format of a diary. So it's a really quick read. You could pick it up and read just one thing a day. Or you could read it all in one hit. It depends. But his observations and his discussion on being a sheep farmer, a shepherd in Sweden is just so endearing and charming and funny. I'm trying to think if I can quickly find you something to read just to give you an idea. And the back says basically, after a life-changing decision, Axel Linden curtails his doctoral studies to move to his father's fully working farm. And once there, he gets the responsibility of caring for a flock of sheep. Contemplative and transient, funny and haunting, this book is a mesmerising delight as Linden delves into the small wonders of our world as well as our place in the universe. And it's all because of the sheep. And just look at the picture of the sheep. I always go on with those horns. I thought they were the ears, but they're not, they're horns. So yeah, I'm not going to pick one out to read for you because you kind of have to get the gist of the whole book. But it's just something about it. And if you have bought some of the other books I've recommended that are the slightly more quirky ones, then I think you wouldn't go far wrong with this one. And as I say, it's just a sublime little book. On the back it's called. Anyway, it's great. So that's this week's book recommendation. On Sheep, The Diary of a Swedish Shepherd. Okay, well, I've got to the bit here that says sustainability or life in general. Well, I think, oh no, I haven't talked to you about the cotton. I've also found a whole load of cotton. Oh, Henry's walking again. Cotton yarn, and I had decided I'm going to weave a whole load of tea towels as gifts for people, but I'll talk about that next week now. Life in general is good. My sustainability efforts have not diminished. I'm growing my seeds, as are everybody. I planted some out at the Easter weekend because it was really warm and sunny, and the next day it got really cold, and I think a lot of them died. So I was a little bit premature in putting them outside. But my broad beans I've successfully transplanted outside, and the radishes I planted at the end of last week are coming through. Not sure about the lettuce or the spring onions though, because I'm getting little shoots through, but I've got a horrible feeling it's the chamomile still seeding that was in the bed beforehand. But we'll see. We will see. The sunflowers are doing well. They've not gone outside. They're still inside. So that's all good. But still, the teapot, the wonderful Bodum teapot, working wonders. I've had to put the reusable tea bags to one side because it's really bizarre. I washed them up. I washed them in washing up water and refilled them. And I had a couple, and it was like, it wasn't a very nice taste. My tea tastes of washing up liquid. I don't know. How did that happen? I thought I rinsed them all, but I perhaps didn't rinse them thoroughly enough. So they have all gone onto one side, and I'm going to rewash those and make sure that they don't give me soapy tea. But what else? Still cooking and baking. Obviously things are still on hold generally because of the lockdown restrictions, but I'm managing to stay in touch with friends. And yeah, probably sustainably wise, that's all I can report. I guess the fact that I'm very much using up the yarn I've got, and maybe just topping it up or complementing it with purchases rather than just going out and buying a whole load. Trust me, I feel like going out and buying a whole load. We had tickets to go to the Charleston Festival, which was the Charleston Farmhouse Festival, which is where the Bloomsbury set lived and thrived, which included people like Virginia Woolf, Vanessa Bell, Duncan Grant, Leonard Woolf, Maynard Keynes, and all sorts of people. And that's not far from here, and they run a literary festival every year, and I had bought tickets. Sadly that's been cancelled and they're refunding the money. That's the reason I was telling you this, because then I used that money to buy the yarn. So, you know, it's already sunk cost, isn't it? It's already gone out of my account. Henry and Honey are fine. Henry is looking particularly pathetic at the moment. We'll have a quick cuddle with him in a minute. And this coming week, I'm just going to be knitting more and more and more. Like I say, I can't stop. There was so much I wanted to share with you, so much more. But I guess I'll have to make notes of it as I go along and then share with you next week. I hope you've enjoyed the chat and found the knitting and crafting interesting. Do let me know. As I say, doing this is quite different to doing a vlog in many ways, so we'll see how we go with this. I would love to keep sharing though, and keep sharing my projects and book reviews and all that sort of stuff. So there's a little fly just catching my eye right there. Go away. So I shall love you and leave you. I shall say I need to think of some really, really clever play on words. Oh, did you like my opening thing? And I decided I needed the name of a podcast, you see. I needed, rather than just be Clara Peggotty. So yeah, I did my Sheep and Cheerful. Sheep and Cheerful. It was going to be Sheep and Cheerful. I thought that might be too difficult. So we got the Sheep and Cheerful. Be more sheep, be cheerful, and I shall see you next week. Who that then? Hello. Oh, she stopped talking, thank goodness. She's coming to cuddle me now. But I don't want the camera on me. I want my makeup. Oh. 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 All right, look. Just a little look. Oh, no, that's it. Oh, I'm down. I'm gone.